Would you like to live your best life possible, regardless of your imperfections? Discover cutting-edge tools and inspiration to let go of your limitations and expand your life beyond what you've ever imagined. On Imperfect Brilliance, we help you tap into your unique gifts and talents, uncovering and letting your brilliance shine. Join certified facilitators and coaches Betsy McLaughlin and Kathy Williams to delve into different areas of your life, get unstuck, and create the life that is truly possible for you. These joyful ladies have changed their lives by utilizing the tools and techniques they share with you. What if your willingness to acknowledge your brilliance is the catalyst to creating a new reality? When you stop judging you, what else can you create in your life and in the world? Join Kathy and Betsy live every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern to create magical and joyous possibilities for an hour of laughs, questions, tips, and more. We are excited to contribute and play with you.
Welcome to Imperfect Brilliance, everyone. This is Kathy Williams here with Betsy McLaughlin. And we are here every week on Tuesdays, live in general, usually. And there are recordings available as well at iom.fm. So you can listen to us during the week as well, with topics ranging from bodies to entities to parenting. We go all over the map with tools to help you expand your life and get out of judgment. And our topic today is one of my very favorite topics. It is about the greatest power, and that's the space of being you. And when you're being you, you're not judging, and you're spacious and expansive and not resisting judgment either. So we're going to tap into that space today. And before we do, Betsy, hi, how are you?
Hello. You were breaking up a little bit, so it was a little hard to hear you.
Oh, okay. I'm hearing you that way, so we might have something to change.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So would you like to talk about us a little bit?
Yeah, sure. We are both certified facilitators with Access Consciousness, which means we've done a lot of training and in Access Consciousness, and we teach classes online and all over the world. We have so much fun doing it, facilitating and contributing to people's lives. And it's so amazing to see people blossom right in front of you, isn't it, Kathy?
It really is. Yeah. I mean, with a few simple questions or a tool or, when people have their own awareness about something that, it's just like, wow, everything can change in a matter of minutes. So,
yeah,
I love what these tools do for people.
Me too. And let's see, what else? We also are authors of several books. Kathy's publisher of one of them, which is an amazing book, Relationships Done Easy. And she's also a yoga teacher and a former ballerina. We definitely we've done a lot of different things in our past that kind of all contribute to who we are today and, who we continue to create really every day. We're both mothers. Kathy's children are younger than mine. I have a grown son. And what else do we do? We're coaches. We love life. We love living. We love contributing to people. We're radio show hosts. And
And we love hearing from you. So if you have
Yeah.
questions or you have ideas for shows, we often use people's ideas. So they'll say, "Hey, I'd love to hear about bodies and in this particular way, or I'm having this problem." And so we will take your ideas, and if it's a quickie, sometimes make a Facebook Live about it. And then if it's a longer thing, more involved, we just might run with it for a show. So send in your ideas to imperfectbrilliance@gmail.com, or just on Facebook. That's pretty easy too, Imperfect Brilliance. And we're easy to talk to, I think. Not too intimidating. One of the things that the tools of access consciousness really shifted for me, Betsy, was that critical head that I used to live with. The one that's always saying what I'm doing wrong and what's not perfect enough and why I shouldn't be able to or shouldn't, put this out in the world, or can't, this project can't be finished yet because it's not good enough, and all these different things. So the tools have helped me shed that monkey mind, that critical mind, to a huge degree. And when I notice I'm in that again, I can shift out of it too. And so some of the things we'll talk about today are really about helping you access the space that you truly be. So you want to talk about the qualities of an infinite being, Betsy?
Wow, that's a great segue into our conversation today. And an infinite being, even just when you ask me that question, what are the qualities of an infinite being? What is that? My whole body relaxed, and it just kind of went, So I think so often we kind of forget that we truly are infinite beings, and we're way greater and way more than our physical bodies are. And we talk a lot on our show about, awareness and energy and different things that you have such an innate knowing as an infinite being. And, when you're truly, truly being you, and you're in the space of who you are and not at the effect of anyone around you, nothing bothers you.
Yay!
Right? Nothing upsets you, even if it's something that, you might consider like a drama kind of thing. When you ask the question, would an infinite being truly choose this? I go, would an infinite being choose to be upset because somebody treated them, a different way than what they thought it would be? Or does it really matter? And I know there's a question that you've shared with us on occasion that your father had taught you as you were growing up. And I would love for you to share that question with everyone now.
Okay. Yeah. As I was growing up, I learned at some point, maybe I was a teen, that my dad was living his life from the question, will this matter in 10 years? So if, there was something that seemed to be a problem, he would look at it and be like, well, will this matter in 10 years? And if not, then he wouldn't get worked up about it. Because his blood pressure is going to matter in 10 years. His, the way his organs are functioning, and if he were to get worked up about, various things along the way, then, blood pressure would go up, all these other things would happen in a negative way. So he really said to me one day, Kathy, you know what? Whenever I ask that question, it's always been a no. Like his awareness about that is none of the things that he asked the question about have ever been going to matter in 10 years. So there you go. Why get worked up about it? And in the tools of access consciousness, we have these 10 keys to total freedom, and one of which is no significance. And there he was doing no significance. He wasn't making those things that would pop up and creep in significant enough to matter because he knew they weren't going to in 10 years.
What an invitation that was for you, especially in your teen years, right, when you can angst about the smallest of things. What an invitation that was to choose something beyond maybe where you were at that stage of your life.
Yeah, it's so interesting because I wish I had been able to just jump into that question more than I really did. I used it. I did use it, but not nearly on a daily basis. No, which is fine. It's just, yeah. You get it when you get it. So, as an infinite being, and that is actually the first key to total freedom that we talk about. Would an infinite being truly choose this? The question that Betsy just asked. And the qualities of an infinite being are infinite. You have the capacity to be, to know, to receive, and perceive infinitely. You're spacious. Right? And so, I'm excited to talk about the spaciousness, because when we do judge, or we think something's a problem, or we think something, of course this will matter in 10 years, do we contract down out of the spaciousness? Yeah, right? We get like smaller and tenser and sometimes even overwhelmed. And to be overwhelmed requires that you contract down and be less than what you are. And if you look at science would say everything, the wall, your body, the table, an apple, anything is mostly space. Right? So it's just the appearance of matter, where our brains are just too slow to perceive it as energy vibrating, energy, space, consciousness. So what if we could tap into the spaciousness that we truly be, regardless of what's going on?
Well, and it really does give you a dynamic sense of peace. And it doesn't mean for 1 second that you have eliminated any of your awareness. And in that space of peace, though, there's also, for me, there's really a sense of power and potency. So when you're like truly being you, and you're not trying to be anyone else, you're simply being you. All the magnificence of you. You're not hiding any piece of you. You can be present with everything and everyone around you, and you're magic walking. You really are. And you're always so when you are magic walking, that being that you are, you change everyone around you. You contribute to your life. You contribute to everyone's life around you. You're constantly changing. You're constantly, contributing And in that, like, there really is so much magic and possibilities. And, you know, would you be willing to embrace the magic and the wonder of you?
Well, and let's even phrase this as a question, like, let's start to ask, because it's an ask and receive universe. So if we start to ask, universe, show me the magic of me. Universe, show me my magical capacities that are greater than I've acknowledged, greater than I've been willing to be aware of, greater than I've tapped into before. Right? Universe, show me questions are really fun because it's like, okay, show me. I'm willing to have it. I'm willing to see it. Bring it. Yeah.
I love those questions. I always do. They're magical. And you never know, like when you're asking those questions totally from no point of view about what might show up. You're really just inviting everything to show up. So if you don't have any preconceived notions, what might be right around the corner.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, the cool thing is, like, even if you don't really, you're like, me? Magic? I haven't seen it. So you're asking,
right.
Universe, show me, right? I haven't seen it yet, so show me. I haven't been tapped in. Well, let me see it, and let me receive it, and let me be it, and let me know it. And,
yes, absolutely.
Yeah, again, those are, you know, being, knowing, receiving, and perceiving are the capacities of an infinite being. Well, I have some fun question. One of my favorite questions when we're back from the break. So hang in there, everybody. Thanks so much for listening to Imperfect Brilliance, and we'll be back in just a moment. Aloha.
Free your mind with OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
OMTimes magazine is one of the leading online content providers of positivity, wellness, and personal empowerment. A philanthropic organization, their net proceeds are funneled to support worldwide charity initiatives via Humanity Healing International. Through their commitment to creating community and providing conscious content, they aspire to uplift humanity on a global scale. Connect at omtimes.com. OMTimes, creating a more conscious lifestyle.
Hello, I'm Sandy Sedgbeer, host of OMTimes Magazine's flagship radio show, What is Going On? My passion is sifting through information, research, and innovations from new thought teachers, speakers, and researchers pushing back the boundaries of what we know about life, energy, metaphysics, and the universe. I love shifting perceptions about who we are, why we're here, and how quickly impossible becomes normal when we open our minds, expand our awareness, and accept that the only limits that exist are those we place upon ourselves. So if you're the kind of forward-thinking, eager investigator of what lies beyond the current reality that most perceive, why not make a date to come play with me in the field of possibilities at 4 p.m. Pacific Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time every Thursday, and together we can discover what's really going on.
Hi, this is New Age Grammy winner Paul Avgerinos. Thanks for listening to OMTimes Radio, and please support my peaceful healing music with a purchase at iTunes, Amazon, or wherever you shop for fine music. Just put my name into the search engine, Paul Avgerinos. A, V like Victor, G like George, E-R-I-N-O-S. You can also visit me at roundskymusic.com. Thanks for listening, and I'm wishing you the brightest of blessings.
Dad, this is fun. I didn't think I liked kayaking.
Well,
I'm glad you enjoyed it, but I think it's time to head back in.
Okay. Can we come back?
Sure. Hey, be careful getting out of the boat.
It's a kayak, Dad.
I'm going to return the kayak.
Can we walk home?
How about a taxi?
It's a short fare from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a neighborhood park or green space near you. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
Welcome back to
everyone.
Imperfect Brilliance.
Yay!
Oh.
Now, right before the break, Kathy, you teased everybody, including me, with a question you said was one of your favorites you were going to share with us after.
Oh, maybe we'll wait. No, I'm just teasing you.
So mean.
I'm such a mean person. Oh, yes. That question is one that I actually have in my phone every day, several times a day, as a reminder. It's like a little appointment, only, it springs up on my phone, and I'm like, oh, yes, okay. And the question is this: how much space can I be to change this? Okay. It used to be, how much space can I occupy to change this? And I really, for me, it just works better now as B. And what happens is, when I ask that question, let's say I'm having something in my life, maybe in my business, and I'd like to change it. I have points of view around that thing that are sticking me. Okay, maybe it's with my kids. Oh, I'm crabby. Mm-hmm. Okay, how much space can I be to change this right now? And as I expand out, as I take up more space, things will change, right? I've already asked it to change. And I have a client, actually, I'm in the middle of this class called 5 Days of Energetic Exercises for Loving Your Body. And she said, Kathy, yesterday morning, I asked that question of my daughter. She stubbed her toe, and I asked her, how much space could you be to change that? And the pain went away. She said, when we have pain, I realized we contract, we densify, we, tense. And when I asked, how much space could you be to change this, it did. And she was fine.
Yeah. I love that. And, one of the things that I realized, like right now, I had the flu and it turned into pneumonia. And what's been really interesting while I've been taking care of my body and resting a lot, which is something that is difficult to do, and what's really been interesting is I've been asking those kinds of questions, like what is required here for my body, and not getting upset at all that this illness is going on, and ask my body when she was very clear when it was time to go to the doctor. I kind of took a turn for like, okay, this is not getting better, I need to get to the doctor, when at first it was like, no, it's really just like a coldy flu kind of thing. And what's been really great is I've stayed in that space of allowance for whatever my body is changing. And not getting mad, not being upset about everything, which is where I've gone a lot of times in my life. I've gotten angry, that my body is, I've judged it like, oh, it's letting me down, or I've done something wrong to make my body sick, and those kinds of things. And so to be in this space of allowance for what my body is going through right now and whatever I'm changing, and to not go to a space of really trying to define it, has been quite a gift for me. And one of the other questions that we've definitely shared on our show before is, what's right about this I'm not getting?
Yes.
So I've been asking that question quite a bit. It's like, okay, what's right about having pneumonia and not being able to do anything all week that I'm not getting? It's like, okay. And, really to be that space, like I said, of allowance and not constriction, which is what kind of triggered me as you were talking about, your client who shared that with her daughter, of not going to the constriction, which is kind of our natural reflex when our bodies are in pain or we get sick. And so what contribution, is all of this that I have no idea, and I may never know. And so just even asking that question can really change the energy of things.
It's so true. Yeah. So what's right about this I'm not getting?
For sure.
What's the gift here that I'm not seeing
Yes.
yet?
Yeah.
It's a similar sort of question, just a little bit different.
Yeah, right. What is the gift? What is the gift in every situation that you might not, automatically go to or see or ask that question?
So, the other question that's really fun that you can kind of use to tap into anything you'd like is, what energy, space, and consciousness could I be, and then whatever that would allow me to be happy with total ease? or what energy, space, and consciousness can I and my body be to have total clarity and ease with whatever's going on?
Yeah.
And then you can use the Access Consciousness clearing statement. Everything that doesn't allow that, will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, pud, poc, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyonds. And the clearing statement is just like a magic wand to bring up the energies of anything that won't allow you to be that and clear them away. And there's a whole website devoted to it. It's called theclearingstatement.com.
Yeah. I love those questions. You know what? So when you go to asking questions like, what energy, space, and consciousness can me and my body be? For me, again, it gets that expansive space that we were talking about in the very beginning, of, what else is possible. And again, asking the questions invites possibilities, where when you're not asking questions and you're in the space of conclusion, it does not allow for a lot of different possibilities to show up in your universe.
Yeah, I mean, conclusion, has judgment with it, and judgment requires that you contract. When you're truly vast and expansive, and we can do a short exercise to explore this, you drop points of view. Like, you're not functioning. That's why that question, how much space can I be to change this, is so effective for me, because I drop the points of view that are holding anything sticky or stuck in place. The more we expand out, the more we do that. So, what space?
It's
yeah.
I was just going to say,
go ahead.
Then you can ask this question. So every conclusion, every definition, every limitation that you are willing to give up, every point of view, all of those that you're willing to give up, let go, however you want to say this, opens up total different possibility for your life.
Yeah.
So what was the question you were going to ask there?
What space are you refusing that you truly could be choosing, that if you would choose it, would change your reality and take you out of problems and into possibilities for all eternity. Everything that doesn't allow it, will you destroy and uncreate it, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Right, wrong, good, bad, PUD, POC, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds.
And that's so funny. I did not know that was the question she was going to ask, but right before what I said. It's so fun. Although just playing with the energy of it, right, I was obviously aware of where the conversation was going and what contribution. So it's just so fun how that works.
Yes. Yeah. So what space are you refusing? Right? Because if you're willing to be space, will you be different from most other people? Yeah.
Yes.
Oh. So, and would you be willing to be that different?
Yeah, and that's actually a great question, and I knew we were going to get to that part in this conversation. Earlier I was going to talk about, I certainly, when I was younger, I worked really hard to fit in. And I was actually a pretty good chameleon of, and some of this is just from, things that happened in my past and what the skills that I learned to adapt to situations. So what I mean by being a chameleon is that I was really good at figuring or thinking, like what I was figuring out was required in whatever situation I was in. So I would be that. I would be that energy, whether it was, keep my mouth shut or to be, talkative and laughing or whatever I was perceiving was required. I was that energy. And it wasn't always who I was. And so, when I learned all about like being you and what does that mean and what does that look like, it's really, for me, it was very, very different. I was, like I said, I was a chameleon and pretty good one. So it left me for a long time even kind of wondering who the heck I was. Did you have any of that in your past, Kathy?
Oh, yes. And in fact, some of us are so aware, just tap into this. Are you so aware that you're aware of other people's projections and expectations of you, and you will modify yourself, what you say, your behavior to match that? Oof. So everywhere you do that, wow. Will you destroy and uncreate it times a godzillion? Right, wrong, good, bad, PUD, POC, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyonds. Oh. I still catch myself doing that sometimes. Like, oh, this person has the expectation that I'm going to heal them, and what am I doing? Falling back into the role of the healer. And not that that's bad, but it's just like, is that what I truly would like to choose in this situation?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah.
Well, and when it's a great capacity to have, like, and how can you actually, exponentialize that capacity and stay you? So those are some, some great questions where we've shared with you guys already, like what energy, space, and consciousness can I be to be me, to be everything I truly am, and not fall into the trap of worrying about what other people might think, what other people might say, what judgments you might be very aware of that can cause you to shrink and hide parts of you that you feel are judgeable.
Yeah. And again, asking to expand out, expand and become bigger, will drop the judgments. And they can't coexist simultaneously. So, there's so many places we could go right now. So,
yes, there are.
just ask yourself this. is my body inside of me or am I inside my body?
Mm-hmm.
Right? You're so big that your body is inside of you. And, let's do this clearing. What space are you absolutely, utterly refusing that you truly could be choosing, that if you would choose it, would allow you to expand your life exponentially beyond anything you've ever imagined? And everything that doesn't allow it, will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, POD, POC, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyonds. And what if we could create our lives through the expansion into the possibilities and the expansion into what we are, instead of resistance against and rejection of how other people are functioning or what else is going on here on the planet? Because a lot of people do it, assume that in order to create their life, they have to reject this reality and what others are doing and the wrong way of doing things. But in oneness, everything's included. Nothing's judged. So you can't exclude this reality. You have to have awareness of it and perceive where people are functioning from, but you don't have to live by that. You can live your life from a totally different point of view. And if you're willing to recognize that you are space and you are that big, you're not finite, you're not as limited as you've thought you were, then, as Betsy was talking about, magic and miracles are really available.
True.
So again,
story.
that clearing, what space are you absolutely, utterly refusing that you truly could be choosing, that if you would choose it, would expand your life and living beyond anything you've ever imagined? And everything that doesn't allow it, will you destroy and uncreate it, please?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, POD, POC, all 9 shorts, boys, and beyonds.
Stay with us. We'll be back in just a couple minutes. Thank you for tuning in to Imperfect Brilliance with Kathy Williams and Betsy McLaughlin. We'll be right back.
Connecting you with the best of the conscious minds in the world. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Ascending Hearts is no ordinary dating site, but a spiritual dating site with a purpose, to link you with your soulmate. We engineer the serendipity so you can trust that you will attune with someone that has the same matching vibration as you. Ascending Hearts, the conscious dating site for the spiritually aware. Try Ascending Hearts for free. AscendingHearts.com.
Hello, I'm Lisa Berry. Join me every Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time for Light on Living, a chance to see new, hear different, and feel more as I shine the spotlight on all the ways to lighten the load of life's challenges. Light on Living is your link to that new way you're looking for, that new understanding that will enhance your life, and that positive connection that will support your growth. So join me and you'll gain insight and start to see things in a new way that motivates you.
Hi, this is recording artist and composer Yuval Ran, inviting you to a voyage through the chakras, a new double album of guided meditations to transform your life, a sublime musical medicine for nourishing inner peace and reaching to your higher virtues. Get it now at metamindfulnessmusic.com, METTA mindfulnessmusic.com.
I adopted Bento in 2010 from a shelter. This cat makes me make art. He's always motivating me to draw pictures of him. He just is motivating artistically. He's my best friend, but a lot of people know him as Keyboard Cat.
Keyboard Cat, YouTube star and shelter pet. Amazing adoption stories start in shelters. Start yours today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for listening to Imperfect Brilliance. And today we're talking about being space and the qualities of an infinite being and tools to help you access that. And before we get back to the show, Betsy and I do classes in person and online too. So I wanted to talk about a few of those things going on. Betsy, you have some things going on?
I sure do. I've actually got quite a few classes brewing. I've got a bars class next weekend, the end of September, in Maryland. And then I have a foundation class, which is truly a life-changing class, and that's in Northern Virginia in October.
Did you know there's a hashtag called Get Your Butt to Foundation?
No, that's so funny.
There
Cute. There's a hashtag for Get Your Bars Run.
Oh, yes.
For sure. And we talk a lot about these processes that have contributed so dynamically to us and our bodies. So if you're wondering, if you have any curiosity at all about what that is, you can go to accessconsciousness.com and look for a practitioner or a facilitator near you. Kathy and I also do teach those classes as well as give private sessions for that, and numerous body processes. Also the Access Consciousness energetic facelift, which such a wonderful process. I love that one. I'm doing that in mid-October. And then I'm also hosting a couple of really fun classes. The first one is the end of October, and that'll also be in Northern Virginia, the Washington, D.C. area. And that is energetic synthesis. It's called ESSI. And it is a class that I have not taken yet, but I've heard wonderful things about it. And it's being taught by Dr. Andrew Gardello, who is a magical body worker, chiropractor, who knows a lot about bodies. So I'm really looking forward to that one. And then the first weekend in December, I'm hosting another chiropractor, Dr. Anthony Mattis, for a 3-day body class, which is 3 days of just nourishing your body and trading with people and lots of energetic processes, and such a contribution. All of these classes are huge contributions to your body and ease with your body and what you might be looking to change or unwind. And I know you're hosting a couple people, and you have a lot of foundation classes and stuff coming up. And just to find us, you can find us, of course, on Facebook, and there's also the Access Consciousness website. You do Access Consciousness / my name, Betsy McLaughlin, or Kathy Williams, Kathy with a K. And then she's also got a website, meetkathywilliams.com, and mine is creatingyumminess.com. And we also, of course, have the Imperfect Brilliance website. So I know, Kathy, you've got a lot of things coming up, too.
Yeah, if you would like to join me in Hawaii, I'm facilitating access bars and the foundation, both on the island of Maui and on the island of Kauai in October. And there are some easy accommodations for those right on site. And again in March. So if you're a planner and you'd like to get out of the cold and come to Maui in early March, I'm doing a bars and a foundation class in early March as well here, and then on the island of Maui. And then I'm also hosting The Art of Living Crazy Possible with Corey Michelle on November 9th through the 11th, and then her advanced class, the Unicorn CEO, that following week. And then in January, a body class near the beach, a 3-day Access Consciousness body class in January. And you can find all of those at meetkathywilliams.com, Kathy with a K, Williams with an S, and then /upcoming. And that's where all the upcoming stuff is, online and in person. And if you'd like to do something online, we are doing an interesting point of view challenge. That is Alan Jones and I are, and it starts October 1st. So just, not too long from now. And again, that's on the upcoming page. And you can definitely hop in and play with us, because interesting point of view is one of those tools that the founder of Access Consciousness, Gary Douglas, says, if you will do it, if you will say interesting point of view, I have this point of view for every thought, every feeling, every emotion for 6 months, you will never have a problem again. It sounds wonderful. It also sounds like a lot of work. Which is why support can be really fun. But that interesting point of view is one of those things that also can help us enter the space of non-judgment. That space that truly is accessible and truly is more fully, what we've been talking about, the space of you, than judgment is. So, interesting point of view. I have this point of view. And you can say it about you. You can say it about, the interesting point of view. Let's say Betsy has a point of view. And I'm like, oh, interesting point of view. She has that point of view. Now, I don't have to make it wrong. I don't have to make it right. Just like, oh, it's just interesting. No forcing. No pushing. Just interesting. And we've done that tool a lot together, Betsy.
Oh, we sure have. Yeah. It is. I'm sorry, I was trying not to cough on the show. It's definitely a wonderful, wonderful tool that has really kept me from losing my temper or getting my feelings hurt, or even if I do have those feelings, then I have this wonderful tool. It's like, oh, interesting that I'm choosing to react like that. Interesting that I'm having that point of view. And it really does change the energy of what I might be choosing to feel in any given moment.
Yeah, and it can change the body dynamically. I mentioned my 5-day class about, getting out of judgment of your body, which is available on my website under meetkathyWilliams.com/pulls. And interesting point of view with your body is one of the magical things that can really catapult you out of judgment and actually into change, into releasing tension, and changing things that maybe you thought couldn't even be changed, but your body has been creating itself based on your point of view, based on your judgments. And it's a really impressive thing to just watch people, through the class create changes as well. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we create so much based on our points of view. We limit ourselves so much based on our points of view. So that one tool, or just asking to occupy more space, can just, create so much ease and get us out of things that we thought weren't changeable. I mean, think about this. If there were no yesterday, who would you create yourself as now? Right? What if who you were yesterday didn't even have to exist? But your fixed points of view that you've defined yourself as, who you are, what what stories you have, why you're limited, why you can't, right? All of those are fixed points of view that define you and limit how you create your life. So if there were no yesterday and you were just space, right? As science says, we're mostly space. What would you choose? And how would you create?
Mm-hmm. And that brings up an interesting question. So for our listeners, let's say, somebody's like, well, it's these are all great things that you guys are talking about in theory. But I'm not willing to be as weird or as funny as I truly am because I'm going to be judged. What questions could we contribute to them, or what can we just contribute? Because that really was coming in as you were talking about that, and it's so cool to be tapping into the energy of people listening now and in the future. And that's how a lot of our questions, even during the conversation, how they come about, because we get these awarenesses. So, Kath, what would you like to contribute there to somebody who might be saying, well, that's well and good for you, but I can't do it because I'm going to be laughed at or I'm going to be judged, and I'm not willing to have that.
Goodness, that's like a whole show in itself. It reminds me of a client I have, and she lives in the South. Right now, I live in Hawaii, and people are already a little bit strange. No offense, guys. She lives in the South, where, one of the things she said is, I would choose this and this, but I don't want to offend the people around me, and I'd be too, I don't want to be too much for them. And we had this big discussion about it. Like, okay, would you really like to limit yourself for other people? And if you're limiting yourself for them, if they want you to be limited, like, are those really the people you'd like to have in your life? Right? And I know some of these people are actual family members. So, like, do your family members have to know the totality of how weird and different you are? Just wondering, right? Like, do I pock and pod with my family? No. Right, with the people who can receive it, namely my children, my husband, yeah, but with my parents, no, they just can't receive it. I'm aware of what they can receive and what just would be too far out for them. So, the thing is, you have awareness and you can use it to identify, okay, where is this going to work? Where is this going to create greater possibilities? And where is this not? And Betsy, I bet you have some ideas as well.
Well, I love the questions that you asked, Kathy. And I also, what came in too is, who defines what normal is? Right?
Who wants to be normal? Normal is boring.
Yeah. and is normal the setting on your dryer? I don't even really know what it means on my dryer. But,
yeah.
What is, right? And if everybody's definition of normal is different, or everybody's definition of weird is different, or strange, or funny, or cuckoo, or whatever it is that you have been defined as, or you have defined yourself as, would you be willing to just let go of all of those definitions? And what if none of them mattered? And, so what we talked about with the, what if you had the interesting point of view? So interesting point of view that I have the point of view that I'm weird, or I'm strange, or I'm kooky, or I'm, quiet, or whatever it is that I have defined myself as. If you're willing, and as Kathy asked earlier, if you woke up and let's say you woke up tomorrow and you had amnesia and you didn't know who you were, who would you be? Would you still be you? And if you didn't have those definitions that maybe you've carried around with you your whole life, then what would you choose?
So it's really an invitation. Yeah.
Yes, totally an invitation for what can you choose in every moment of the day. And the other thing is with when you are in resistance to any definition or judgment or whatever, you know, if you're saying, well, I'm not weird or I'm not funny or I'm not whatever, then you've got your barriers up and you're fighting against whatever those perceived judgments are or even your own judgments of you, whatever you think you lack. And so when you're in that, with your barriers up, that's where that constriction is that we talked about earlier. So in that constricted space, are you truly being you?
Yeah, when you're functioning from judgment.
Yes.
When we're functioning from judgment, we confine ourselves dynamically.
Mm-hmm. And every judgment creates a limitation of your awareness of something greater. And there's nothing wrong with you. Oh my goodness, it's time to end the show.
Thank you, everybody.
Nothing wrong with you. Yes,
thanks
thank you
for
so
listening.
much for joining us.
Have a great week, and we'll be back next Tuesday. In the meantime, you can catch us on IOM.fm, the replays, and also on iTunes. Have a great week, everybody. Aloha.
Bye-bye. Thank you.